Welcome back to Brand New Vegan. This is Chuck, and I have another everyday vegan story for you today. This is a series where I ask you what led you to become vegan. And today I have my buddy Mike Baldry from my Facebook group. And boys, you have a story. Hey everyone, this is Chuck, and we have Mike Baldry here for the interview this week. Welcome, Mike. So glad to have you.
Thanks, Chuck. It's great to be here too. Love talking to
Nice
you
to,
face to face.
yeah, finally we get to meet face to face. So
Yeah,
nice. So
absolutely.
I got some questions here for you. And
Okay,
whenever you're ready,
anytime.
all right. What made you decide to try a vegan or plant-based diet?
Okay, so set the stage for you. At the time, I was 298 pounds, and I
Oh,
mean, fat, sick, and nearly dead. I mean, I was really in bad shape. My knees, my hips, my back were all in pain. My digestive system was all messed up. My doctor had, I had just scored 245-ish cholesterol. My doctor was saying, I want to put you on medicine. And I said, well, let me try some, fix it with diet. And he told me, well, there's no way you're going to do that, but you can try it, come back in 3 months and we'll check you again. And right about that time, a group that my wife and I were in through the church decided to watch Forks Over Knives, a documentary I had never heard of before. So we sat down and watched it, and this was the first time that anything I saw had ever made a any sense about actually giving up animal products. I was a quintessential carnivore, proudly.
yep, me
And
too.
yeah, oh yeah. And so my wife and I decided, okay, we'll start moving in that direction, right? Slowly, right? But the more I changed my diet, the more we moved in that direction, the better I started feeling. And, we gave up, dairy pretty quickly. And within a couple of months, all this inflammation in my knees, especially, had gone away. And of course, the digestive system, problems were gone. All that indigestion, constipation, all that nonsense. And I just started feeling so much better so fast that I just went all in and actually left my wife with feeling like she had whiplash, honestly. Um, she was not ready to go all in.
Mine neither.
Yeah. And she just, looked at me with that, fire in her eyes and said, fine, if you want to eat that way, you're going to have to cook it because I'm not going to.
Your wife talked to my wife that they said the same thing, I swear.
That's right. And so I had already, made a lot of inroads into cooking with the smoker and all that. So I just kind of, dove in and started studying and learning and just kept on going with it. So
So, how long ago was that?
that was 8 years ago. And actually, it's the first of two whole food plant-based weight loss stories I have, but because I did mess it up for a little while there. But yeah, about 8 years ago. And uh, she was kind of resistant for a long while. And my kids, of course, were wondering who I am and what I did with their father, you know.
Yep. What's the second story? How things get messed up?
Well, with going whole food plant-based and all, I mean, first off, my cholesterol dropped so fast. I mean, the next time the doctor checked it, I was just a few months later and it was down to 185. And
Wow.
he accused me of seeing another doctor behind his back. He did not believe that I had done that with diet at all. And
Unbelievable.
yeah, it was awesome. Um, but and I dropped weight down to 235 over the next year and a half. So that's what,
Wow.
nearly 70 pounds of weight loss or 65
Wow.
pounds. Yeah. And oh man, I was feeling so much better. But then, we live in Houston and I lost my job. And the
Oh.
next job that I found was in Baton Rouge, so it was out of state. And I would commute on the weekend. I would go up there for the week and then come home for the weekends and all. And I got into kind of a funk and I quit, really watching it and just got into a bunch of restaurant food, basically junk food vegan, because I didn't add the animal products back in, but I did add the French fries and, you know, the the restaurant pasta and the restaurant this and the restaurant
Yeah,
that and the garlic bread and of course, I was also drinking with the guys that were there too.
of course.
Yeah, and so I gained a lot of weight back.
Yeah.
And
That's understandable, though. I used to work with a lot of guys who lived quite a ways away from our site, and they
mhm,
would come here and stay sometimes together, rent a house, three or four of them,
right.
sleep while they work, and then go
Mhm,
home on the weekend to 100 miles away to be with the family. So it's hard.
it is. Yeah. And so I didn't get back on program for quite a while. And by the time, it's by the time COVID hit and I was working from home, I had gone back up to the high 280s actually. And I realized once again that every time I stood up, I was looking for the next place to sit down. And I'm like, this is crazy. I know what to do. So this time, my wife and I, we talked about it and we decided to go all in together and really hit the 50/50 plates and just no oil at all. And of course, COVID, it was hard to go out to restaurants anyways, so we quit restaurant
Right.
food altogether. And man, we lost together, two of us together, we lost over 100 pounds
That's
over the
amazing.
next 12 months.
Good
Yeah,
job.
yeah.
That's about the same time I was going through my stroke story, right
Mm-hmm.
after, or right during the COVID thing.
Yeah,
And yeah, when, like you said, you can't go to a restaurant, so you might as well make the best of it at home.
right. Absolutely. And it's so much easier to control what you eat, when you're cooking at home. You know what goes into it, and they're not you're not sneaking extra oil in that you
Right.
don't know about. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
so true, though, what you said. A lot of us, I think, can relate that we know what to do. It's just hard to actually do it.
yes, hmm,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Um, and I find it just hilarious that the doctors would be shocked that this worked.
Oh yeah,
How can a diet fix anything, right?
right,
None of them will ever. Mine is not bad. He says, I don't care what you do, just do it. I don't want to
right.
know about it. I'm not going to endorse it. I don't do it. Just whatever you're doing, keep doing it.
Keep doing it. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. At the end of that, near the end of that second round of weight loss, when we were really controlling things and everything, I had my cholesterol checked, and you would never guess where it ended up. It it was
When,
down at 108
holy cow, I
total
was going to say
cholesterol. Yeah.
150. That's
No.
amazing.
Yeah. We've relaxed a little bit, and we're eating out maybe once or twice a week now, and it's back up to about 150 now. But that's as high as it's gone.
But
So
that's nothing to be ashamed of. I mean,
not at all.
150s,
Hmm.
yeah, amazing. So, what's the greatest benefit you've seen so far?
Oh, just the way that I feel, man. I tell everybody that will listen that I feel 10 years younger than I felt 10 years ago. Absolutely. I just have energy to do things and my relationship with my wife is so much better and just
Mhm.
everything all the way around.
It helps when she's on board too.
Absolutely. Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
Mine finally came around. That has made a difference too.
Hmm.
Um, was it easy or was it hard to make the switch?
Um,
Either the first or second time.
yeah, the second time was really easy because my wife and I were totally on board and we were just kind of in this isolated bubble. It was really easy to do what we needed to do. First time, the biggest challenge as I think with anybody is, once you give up all this stuff that's the staple of the standard American diet, then what do you substitute it with? You
Yeah.
know, and so I just dove into what my wife calls food porn. I mean, I just watch everybody online, and I downloaded the Forks Over Knives app and I started digging through that. And then when I discovered your website, that was awesome. You know, I really, and we really enjoy, quite a few of your recipes that we still make to this day,
I
you know.
think a lot of men can relate because I'm a guy and I like my food. I didn't
Hmm.
want to eat weird vegan stuff that I see on some of these channels. Not
Right.
saying that's bad, but as a guy who was just as much a carnivore as you, I don't want to
Mm.
eat sprouts and all this weird. I want chili, I want pizza, I want burgers.
That's the truth. When people find out all that you don't eat, the only thing they can conceive that you eat other than that is salad. And
Yep.
I have never been a salad guy. I really don't enjoy them all that much.
Yeah. I drink mine. That makes it easier.
It sure does. Yeah, we've started
Um,
doing smoothies once in a while too.
you mentioned that your family, your children were like, what to do with my dad. Were they
Right.
supportive? Were your friends and family supportive of your decision initially?
Not terribly. I mean, family still, extended family still kind of ribs me some, but they,
Yep.
some of them are coming around a little bit. And my brother-in-law calls himself a vegan, sort of vaguely vegan, and he's eating, he's getting more fiber in his diet and he's eating more, plant-based meals, but he just won't give up the meat, entirely, you know.
And that's a start. That's a start, though.
It is. It is. That's kind of what I tell people is just, I don't care if you eat a steak, once a week or something like that. It's what do you do with all the rest of your meals,
Right.
And it's so important to just, get your fiber in your diet. It's like
Yeah.
95% of the American population is woefully deficient in fiber, and
Yep.
that's your gut biome, and that's that they're supposedly just finding out how incredibly important that is for your overall health and
Yep.
longevity.
What's one thing you wish those non-vegan types initially would have understood about why you're doing this?
Mm. Well, I mean, just how much better you can feel,
Yeah.
I mean, just how much better life can be, I mean, especially, for where I was, starting where I was. I mean,
Oh,
skinny
yeah.
people don't understand it. They don't have
Yeah.
they don't have a clue what it's like to live like that and feel completely hopeless and just fat, sick, and nearly dead, as they said
That
on that.
weight will drag you down.
It
It's
does.
pressure on your knees, it's pressure on your hips, on your
Hmm.
back, because you're constantly holding that. Oh, I see it.
And you try to tell them, and there's so much pushback that they just we're as a society we're so programmed that this is the way you eat, and it doesn't affect your overall health. And the USDA says eat all this, and you should be healthy.
Right,
You know,
right.
yeah.
So, what was your favorite food back then?
That's a difficult question to answer because I'm very eclectic. I love Indian food, but I also was fiercely proud of what I could do with a smoker.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I mounted an intense study on what to do with brisket and pork butt and all that stuff. And
Well, you live in Houston. I mean, come on.
oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't claim to be as good as like a competition cook-off team, but there aren't many barbecue places in town that can hold a candle to what I can do. In fact, uh, when my son got married, I had already made this change, and for their reception, he asked me to provide brisket and pork butt, and it's my son and his marriage, and okay, fine. So I cooked three briskets and three pork butts, and one of my friends, one of our friends was there, and he was walking around with this plate of food, trying to recruit people to do an intervention on me, saying that it's just got to be a sin that somebody can do this with meat, just won't eat any meat anymore. You know,
That's funny.
yeah. But I'm just not tempted by it anymore. It's just amazes me how fast and how thoroughly your desires can change and your taste buds.
You
You
do
know,
lose your taste for a lot of different things. I know.
sure do. Hmm.
So, what's your favorite food now?
Well, that again, I'm still pretty eclectic. I make your best damn vegan chili ever at least once every other week, man. We just love it. And even through the summer, we've got some in the freezer, usually ready to go. And honestly, my wife doesn't request very many dishes. She just lets me do whatever I want. But when she does request one, it's usually your spicy Asian noodles, honestly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So do you
So
still do all the cooking?
I do. Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah, same with me.
Yeah. Every once in a while, she'll get in and do a dessert or something. But uh, it's just I didn't realize I had no idea. Because we raised four boys and my wife did all the cooking for decades. I had
Hmm.
no idea how much she just hated menu planning and shopping and getting pulling all that together. And I don't mind it. I enjoy it actually, and I'm still enjoying learning and playing with recipes and spice combinations and all.
Exactly. I was
Yeah,
cooking the other night and I had the TV turned to Guy Fieri, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. I could watch that all day long just to see all the different types of food. It's usually
right.
not vegan, but
Oh
in
no,
my mind, I'm thinking, how can I make that vegan? Because that was
right.
so good.
Hmm.
What's one tip you would have for anybody considering changing their lifestyle?
Just start. Get more veggies in your diet. See how it makes you feel. You know, just get
Very
started.
simple. Very
Yeah.
simple.
Hmm.
Do you think you could ever go back?
Oh no, no. In fact, this last weekend, my wife and I, we were out and about late, and we decided to stop by at a Mexican restaurant that had just changed hands and been remodeled. And we always go into a Mexican restaurant and get like vegetable fajitas and stuff, and it's never a problem, right? We just cook a bunch of veggies and give us some tortillas and go to town. But we went into this one, and our waiter, English was his second language, and it came in a distant second, and so we were talking to him and we're looking through the menu and there's just nothing vegetarian at all on this menu. I mean, even their salads are, just coated with meat. And we're kicking ourselves because it's the first time in a long time we went somewhere without looking at the menu first. And through a miscommunication, we asked him for vegetable fajitas. And the miscommunication, the guy brought us beef fajitas,
Oh no.
and and he was so so apologetic. My wife had pity on him and said, "Look, we'll just keep them." And we just kind of took the beef and put it off to the side, and we ate the onions and all the other stuff.
Right.
And neither one of us even were tempted to take a taste of the beef. It was just not even. And so we just packed it in a to-go thing and took it away and gave it to my brother and his wife.
I was going to say, or to your
Yeah.
dog or cat
Yeah.
or,
Oh, well, yeah, dog's gone, but
yeah.
yeah, yeah, that the dog would have been a good option for sure. I almost hate giving anybody else meat, but
I
we
know.
had paid for it,
Well, good for
and
you, Mike. I
yeah,
am so happy to hear your story. And I hope that this video inspires other people to do just what you said. Just start.
yeah,
Amazing things can
hopefully,
happen.
absolutely.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please be sure and do that like, subscribe, bell thing, the YouTube thing. And I'll be back next week for another video. Until then, this is Chuck from Brand New Vegan. Thanks for watching.